Hello, everyone. Welcome back to VALORANT Challengers North America. We just got to see a great series between Turtle Troop and YFP. Turtle Troop coming out on top, 2-1 victory. And now moving on for our second series of the day, SAD Esports going up against Blinn Esports. And I want to hop right into this, Wyatt, and start talking about these two teams facing up, because when we're looking at SAD Esports, it's a team that kind of been struggling a little bit, whereas Blinn Esports coming in just halfway through this season because of the relegation promotion tournament has been catching us quite off guard. Two very different stories for these teams.
Yeah, for sure. It's too bad to see SAD in this current state because, frankly, I was so high on them in Stage 1 being this dark horse team, but post Bob leaving the roster, Zosol, the previous IGL, not being involved, they've been struggling these past few weeks of Stage 2, and it all started with a loss to Blinn in their first game during the Midseason Cup, just after Blinn qualified. So maybe they can begin to turn things around here, get some revenge, but with how things have been going, it just doesn't seem likely.
And you're talking about SAD Esports previously being that dark horse, but we got to talk about Blinn, and not even just being the dark horse in this, but kind of just like a regular horse in this race. They've been doing really, really well going on forward, and it started off high. This is their past series up against SAD Esports in the Mid-Season Cup. These two teams have faced off before, and this was kind of one of our first look here, Mark, of Blinn in Challengers and how they're going to perform. It was a close series, but they still took that dub then.
Yeah, I mean, excellent point that you're making there. The fact that Blinn went through the whole relegation tournament, made their way in, we're like, all right, let's get into this mid-season cup, and then immediately face off against SAD, who were not looking terrible at this point, and they won it. And since then, I mean, the sales have just been taking off for Blinn, and it's just so good for them. They look like a very solid team, and just in general, all of the players right now have been actively contributing to their success.
Yeah, when it was the Mid-Season Cup, I was kind of unsure how this team would face off against some of the more prestige teams that we have here in Challengers, Wyatt. But last week, Blinn Esports took on M80 and took them down 2-0. I think this was a series that caught a lot of people off guard, and Blinn's a team we need to talk about a little bit more.
Yeah, that's just a crazy result. I mean, no one would have predicted that. In the Mid-Season Cup as well, I believe it was against Turtle Troop. They pushed them to the limit, almost beat them. It was like a double OT game. So they've definitely proven multiple times now that they are absolutely legit. You know, they're led by Okeanos, who's on screen right now, just hitting some sick operator shots. Their star duelist players just looked phenomenal for them over the past several weeks.
And it's not just on the back of Okeanos either. The whole team has really, really been stepping up, which has been really nice to see. Okeanos, I think, was one of the names that a lot of people were a little bit more familiar with when this team was introduced into Challengers. But we've gotten to see that it's kind of been a little bit of everyone. This one's looking back at last week, not bad whatsoever, but I definitely know, Marks, knowing the history that Okeanos has, this is definitely someone with the star duelist. I don't think these stats are quite doing him justice. I'm not gonna lie.
I was just about to say, we're doing all this hype up, and then it comes up KDA 1.1, and it's like, oh,
hey,
well, that's
look, sometimes the numbers do lie a little bit, okay?
just a smidge. But no, what you were talking about and kind of touching on, and what we've been really discussing when it comes to this discussion about Okeanos, is it's a very creative jet style of play. It feels very dynamic. The movement always feels so good. And the thing is too, now that Okeanos is in this Blinn roster, Blinn has just been doing a fantastic job at supporting it. Obviously, Okeanos being the star duelist, it's great. Also too, I'm pretty sure was a part of how Turtle Troop did make it into Challengers in the first place, but now is supported by this roster around him who is absolutely doing their part and a little bit more, making, when you've got that 1.1 KD, not be that big of a deal because the rest of the team is ready to help you out.
Yeah, it has been really, really cool being able to look back on the scorelines of these teams and see that across the board that Blinn Esports is a team that they're doing this all together, and that's definitely been faring them really, really well so far. But now we have to talk about the tail on the other side of things, which is SAD Esports, and how things have been looking for them lately, Wyatt. I mean, they did go across a roster change, of course, losing Bob and Zosol. That's where the bottom half of this, where we see the victories over TSM, Dobros, And then the loss after Blinn is when we lost those 2 members. And it's kind of been a downward struggle since.
Yeah, and it's, again, it is disappointing to see. I hope they can bounce back, because I think even, despite the loss of Bob and Zostal, and Bob, I do think was certainly their best player. Still, Darkest, fantastic player. Coburg had some excellent maps, as did Scar, and there's still definitely some upcoming talent on this team. It's just about bringing things, back to that level they were at with the previous roster, finding their footing in regard to the team chemistry with these roster changes that they've, been having and are continuing to have.
I mean, at this point, too, if we're about to see something kind of turn around here for SAD Esports, I feel like this is probably the last week, really, for them to have this potential of a better run for things. There's been a couple teams that going into Stage 2 have had roster changes, but with SAD switching IGLs, losing their old one, and then, of course, the loss of Bob just being instrumental for this team, I kind of feel like it's been a little bit hard-pressed. And last week, even though there was a couple of good ideas, and we know that there's fragging potential on this team, I don't think it necessarily came together quite how it needed to. And now we need to start talking about who we want to see kind of step up. And that's where we kind of turn our sights onto Darkest here, Wyatt. Not because Darkest has been underperforming, I would say quite the opposite. But for a struggling SAD Esports, I feel like it's Darkest to kind of help bring this team, bring them together to try and get a dub.
Yeah, I agree. Darkest has been playing well, and on that previous roster, when they had Bob, it was the duo of Bob and Darkest who often were playing the 2 initiators, or sometimes on Icebox, Darkest was picking up the Reyna. But it was those 2 that were the driving force of the fragging. They were the stars of the team. And now it is Darkest that has to, pick up the slack really for the 2 of them and be the star of this team. And I think that he definitely has the ability to do so. I think he's been hanging around in this tier 2, tier 3 space, ready to really break out at any moment. And listen, if SAD want to turn things around, there's certainly no better moment than this for him to be that player they need.
100%. So I'm hoping to, with another week under their belt, that for SAD Esports, we can start to see a series that starts to go that distance, or maybe even kind of stop the bleeding going on in this week and see if they can get that win. Looking ahead of our map picks and bans, where we're going to be going for this series. Marks, that's going to be the first test, and they're going to be first tested on Sunset, Blinn's map of choice.
Yeah, and quite frankly, like when you take a look at Sunset specifically for Blinn, it looks very rehearsed. It looks very good. It looks very put together. And then, talking about the other side of things, I mean, SAD have been really good on Sunset overall. They look like they had quite a few ideas kind of being put together there. But once again, with these roster changes kind of going around, today we actually have Alvin Boy stepping out and Ferbsa stepping in. It adds a lot of questions around how that team synergy and cooperation and set plays are really going to execute in, practicality.
Especially, too, when you're going up against the Blinn Esports that has so many reps behind them and taking the wins that they are. It's definitely going to be a little bit hard-pressed, but I am ready to see if there's going to be a revitalized SAD Esports going on to this weekend. Our agent select's ready, our first map's ready, so I will catch up with you, too, after. Have fun.
Thank you, Sierra. And yeah, let's head right into Sunset. As the sun's setting over here on the East Coast, actually. So it's good timing here. But yeah, let's take a look at this. It seems pretty standard. The one thing, though, that is sticking out to me, Wyatt, is Dip playing the Sova on Sunset.
Yeah, we're starting to see a bit more and more of Sova on this map. Definitely to mixed success, especially in Challengers. It seems like a lot of teams have leaned in this direction. QOR come to mind. For a while, 100 Thieves are playing Sova on this map in partnership as well. It's interesting to see, though, that Blinn have picked this map into SAD. This was SAD's pick against YFP just last week or the week before, and it was an OT game. They lost, but still pushing YFP to OT. We just saw in the other previous series that they are very solid on this map. And Blinn have had mixed results here, so I'm curious as to what their idea here will be, assuming they've done a lot of prep, feel really comfortable in their ability to counter strat SAD here maybe.
And at the same time, too, I wonder if this is one of those things where, you know, obviously as well, Blinn coming off of CVAL, which just wrapped up earlier, they're like, hey, we need to get a couple of bit more practice on some of these maps. And, you know, looking at the overall matchup, seeing kind of the state that SAD Esports is in, it might not be a bad idea to test out some of these new ideas and plays. And so, you know, that may be another reason why Blinn decided to go for Sunset.
Definitely going to have my eyes on Ferbsa here, the new player for SAD. Just stepping into their first match with the team today, picking up the Sentinel role, playing Cypher on Sunset, a really, really important role on this map. Cyphers can absolutely dominate here. We did just as well see that in the previous series with Adder.
Well, it's being traded. An excellent Dizzy. It's going to get 3 players there, but Train will be moseying on through. Spaz at least able to get 1 before dipping out. We'll do just that, but Shock Bolt's going to be utilized. A lot of pressure coming through. The util dump happening, but Blinn aren't quite done with this site just quite yet. Counter util coming through. Spaz, unfortunately, not able to find the timing on it, and actually Darkest in an excellent position. And just like that, SAD, they come in and they get that spike down very decisively.
Just absolutely running them over. Darkest on entry duty with the breach. Just playing off of that paranoia that came in from Covert to get that crucial kill back sight. It's all about Darkest right there. We talked about in the pre-show needing to be the star for this team, and it certainly stepped up, at least on the pistol round. 3 kills on the board already.
Yeah, and you can tell too, like, you know, we talk about this moving roster, whether or not they're going to have stuff ready to go, but the site utility that was getting tossed down looked very coordinated and good coming in from SAD. It felt like Blinn wanted to re-aggress, but they were just caught off guard by the amount of stuff that was in front of them.
Blinn now going to be forced on to the Eco, of course, Okeanos, the Raves player, the solo sheriff. SAD just going to play for a little bit of B main control here, leave Ferbsa to watch the flank.
Already SAD. Trying to clear up maybe some of those trap wires. Not really finding too much. Skarn on first contact, actually able to find 2. Suddenly, this B-side looking a lot better. Dizzy tossed out on the other side, make sure no one is regressing on that side. T going to be the last person here, eventually slow down things, but Skarn already deep onto the site. T goes down, it's a clean execute from SAD.
I like that despite getting those 2 kills as well, SAD didn't try and force the issue. They still just used that drone to make sure there weren't going to be any more players. They weren't running into just, you know, maybe a full gamble stack. Just not going to risk anything, not throw anything away needlessly.
Darkest still kind of on the hunt here. The door actually about to break down just from the wall bang from Dip. But yeah, at this point, it's just going to be try to drop some of these, but at least Darkest able to find 1 more ultimate orb. Monsi just scooching out of sight. Oh, got spots out. Ferbsa able to get that other one. Get closer to that ultimate, and a clean round coming in from SAD.
Yeah, I like that Darkest was just put in position to keep hunting for orbs there. It got him his ultimate up. He needed 2 orbs, so just 1 kill and a death did the trick. And now they have the Rolling Thunder on their bonus to get their economy rolling, get a nice little lead here early on. Could be the catalyst of a nice string of early rounds for SAD.
Especially, too, you don't want to give Blinn an opportunity to really get themselves comfortable, get themselves set up. You want to kind of take this one by storm, and that looks like that's how SAD's going to be playing it. Going a little bit faster paced this time. Not actually able to get the trap, so you're going to be pulled back immediately, but Mike going to be doing a good job of backing out of that one. Knows it's way too dangerous. Spike now going to be planted. Blinn going to wait for everyone to rotate around before they attempt this retake.
Planted wide in the open. Darkest still sitting on the Rolling Thunder. Didn't have to pop it. We're just going to have to support Skarn here. He's the lone man in sight. He's at least able to get his.
Gianos ready for the trade on that one. Darkest just probably playing as far back as possible. Use the Rolling Thunder to get them off of the spike there. Molly, smoke, everything being used to deny. The Rolling Thunder finally comes through, catches 2. Teague runs out though to try and cover. Will be able to do just that as Teague finds 2. Suddenly not as much value found. Dip able to at least get one here. The swings from Spaz is going to be good. Spaz looking for the rest. And the defuse comes through. Blinn, they hold on, but Spaz with only 5 HP left. 1 rifle to their names. Still an excellent round for Sad, all things considered.
They kind of send things haphazardly, though. Off that rolling thunder, maybe thinking they caught more players than they actually did, so they'd be able to get some free kills pushing out of the smoke in B main, but definitely regretfully so. They're going to wish they have just played that more passively, allowed the rolling thunder to just be a time waster rather than, you know, the setup for trying to push for kills and then just spamming the players on the spike following it. But they're still going to be able to afford a buy. Of course, they got that spike down, so things aren't too dire.
Not quite yet. And I love these little trap plays with the fault lines that can kind of get set up here. That's why Breach is such a strong agent. As we see Sad take a lot of space, but Blinn already re-aggressing out of mid. This could make things a little bit interesting.
They find one good timing at least. Fatigue takes a lot of damage, going to be forced to back up.
Yeah, thankfully the fault line as well, slowing down the flood. As it's a 1-for-1 trade here, so Sad okay with that, all things considered, but now decide to maybe rethink their strategy before they go on to A.
And right now, Blinn have to be very worried about, maybe you can see Teague rotating around to pick up top mid right now on the minimap as Sad silently work their way towards A. Ferbs still just... B rather, Ferbs still has eyes on A. And is able to find that pick onto Okeanos, and look, it's actually drawing the rotate from Mike. He just backed up on B.
Left.
No, he's decided to stay.
Yeah, the dark cover as well is going to get utilized here, but exactly like you said, Mike sticks around. Skarn going to go on the entry yet again. A bit of a shadow step, claim a little bit more space. Oh, Ferbsa looking around on mid as well, but the aggression comes through. Mike good for 2. Unbelievable stuff. Spike still not down here. Finally, we'll be able to get planted as Mike's still anchored in onto the site. Ferbsa is somehow able to not find that kill, and Blinn, they just kind of come in here, and honestly, it's off the heroics of Mike.
I find them.
Yeah, things just slowly falling apart for Sad there. Of course, that's so well played by Mike with the Guardian. Another really standout player for me on Blinn, specifically back in that mid-season cup. Mike and Okeanos, the two of them, were going crazy, just map after map. A really impressive Sentinel player.
And that's something that you wouldn't really expect from a Sentinel player. Once again, you expect them to be a little bit more quiet, but, you know, being so consistent on that back line, once again, this is the caliber of talent that we're talking about on this Blinn roster. If you make Okeanos just look like another player on your roster, that's really impressive stuff from the rest of your team.
Sad onto this half by now with all the sheriffs thinking about what could have been if they played some of those earlier rounds where they had big advantages just a little bit more, you know, I don't want to say safe, but just a bit more textbook, I suppose. Not going for a couple of the little risks they did, because frankly they could have a pretty sizable advantage in this game, but it's Blinn evening the odds from that piece of round loss already.
Excellent one-way. Okeanos, unfortunately not able to find more than just one there. So Sad are happy with that. They should be able to pick up that rifle as well. Teague checking mid, but Ferbs actually finds the pick onto Spaz, but Teague ready for it. That's got to be golden. Dip now in this 1v1, but unfortunately loses things out. Neural Theft going to be activated online. Give the information that Sad are already onto the site, especially too given the fact that one of them has a rifle. Yeah, okay, one detained, but Darkest somehow is able to find a headshot there, keeping Coburg still alive for the second, but unfortunately it's going to be a little bit too much pressure. The good weapon is going to be gone, and now Darkest just has the sheriff in hand. Not enough time on the clock to really make anything happen, and Monsi shuts that down. Blinn get their 3rd round in a row now.
See, getting pretty close to that rolling thunder, is only in need of one more orb. So getting a couple kills into this round, so a big ultimate potentially for the next buy round to extend the lead here against Sad. Of course, they're going to have the full buy of their own. They're going to have the showstopper. They're investing every dollar that they have into this round here.
Satchel out.
Let's see if they're able to come out. Oop, this is going to be a spicy one. Okeanos already going deep. Showstopper pulled on the other side, though.
There.
Scar not able to really find anybody. Yeah, don't really use the rocket to clear out the Cypher Cam, I guess. Mike, though, still being an anchor on the back of site, and look at how much room Okeanos has been able to get. And the trap wire is going to be good. Mike able to find a one through the spray down, and utility gets utilized. Cobra taking a bunch of unnecessary... What just happened there? The teleport didn't work, and suddenly it's all falling apart for Sad. Skarn, just on the other side of a firing range, might decide to jiggle this. Still holding on to it, but yeah, the bullet's going to be coming through. And things just fall apart. Sad, not an ideal round for them.
Scanning ahead.
Blinn playing this situation really nicely. They're just not giving away an inch.
Oh, they line up though. Dip able to find two. Wingman looking for a clapping opportunity. It's going to be doing just that. Dip now tied up, but doesn't matter. Furbsa. It's an army of two on the site right now, and they're making it work out. Teague finally shuts it down. Spaz on the other side. And even though that should have been a Blinn round, it looked like for a second Spaz are going to be coming right back into things.
Yeah, luckily for Teague, at the beginning of that round over at B, he collected that ult orb to get the Rolling Thunder active. That might have been a loss if it weren't for that ultimate, which is crazy to say considering they were in a 5v2, but Dip with just a couple really nice shots on the Sova. Overall, though, you know, those nice kills aside, this was a very well-played round from Blinn. Just
One enemy remaining.
the fundamental things, you know, they get that little advantage off the tripwire, and from there they just play every situation perfectly, not really giving away anything. And then when they did, it was just because of some crazy shots hit. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think right now, like, the way that we're seeing Blinn approach this, it feels very disciplined in the sense that, okay, we're gonna, you know, let Okeanos fly down this area, take a lot of space over there, but on the other side of the site, it's just play off of our utility, you know, slow them down, play that information game. And so it's that high level of thinking that we're seeing Blinn be in just really dominant scenarios where they're forcing Sad to have some heroic plays to even stand a chance in the round.
It's nice to see Blinn mixing up some of these early rounds too, going for that deep aggro mid play. The double satchel down from Okeanos, who's now picking up the operator, again adding a different layer into this defensive side, mixing things up round after round.
Revealing area.
The early aggression, actually, from Sad as well. Skarn leading the charge. Oh, Shadow Step heard, though. So Skarn aware that someone just around the corner. Darkest ready for the alley-oop just in case the paranoia gets let loose. Spaz going to be aggressing forwards. Doesn't see anybody there. Now has Monty just on the other side. Skarn, though, with the crosshair placement is perfect. Doesn't matter, though. An excellent fault line coming through. So Spaz able to get one. And yeah, they're just lining up for this Omen. And Spike is down as well. Sad down to this 2v4. Spike's so far away. Although Mike gets the information as well, so this goes from a bad situation to a worse one.
Here. Coburg just spotting some players out, trying to find a good moment for the backstab. Honestly, might be able to get a couple with a bit of
There's no way.
patience. That might end up being the case. Oh my god, this is just...
No.
Oh, God. Oh, okay.
okay.
He does at least go. Oh, wow. Great second shot. I was well aware of Mike.
The spike.
That was about to be an insane play. If he got Teague as well. And frankly, though, he has made this winnable for Furbsa. 1v2, not out of the question. It's doable for the new sad recruit.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yep, okay. I was just about to say, given the utility that Blinn were going in there, Okeanos maybe didn't need to pop the showstopper, but as soon as that sound cue comes through, I mean, that's just Blinn making sure that they secure these rounds. And honestly, the sad economy is going to be hurting for it.
Yeah, they could be, you know, they're just not taking any risks. They're just doing everything they need to do to win these rounds out in solid fashion. Sad though, they're gonna get that full buy now. Bunch of ultimates to play with, but most importantly going to be that Hunter's Fury. And again, now the setup from Mike, constantly mixing it up on the Cypher, is going to have that tripwire top mid, one towards B, the market camera. Okeanos with that operator taking the line on mid, watching towards tiles, but no one being spotted out, so going to reposition. Blinn have eyes on a lot of parts of the map right now, pushed up on A here as well, which is allowing Teague, you can see, to rotate a bit closer towards B.
Jump just to clear, and this is why that Cypher is so important on the defense. The fact that that trap wire is still available means that, hey, we know that they haven't pushed into our spawn yet. So as a result, Blinn can slow things down, dip. Very diligent owl drone there. Make sure every single side of that little thing is checked. We'll do just that. So now, push is going to be coming in. Darkest ready for it, but Okeanos on the back here still has this operator in hand. Is able to at least satchel away and get to safety. It's the operator ready to go yet again. A Paranoia Gummy coming in. Doesn't matter. Able to at least find dip on the exit. And Coburg still alive here. The spike finally going down. Doesn't matter though, Blinn already ready to kind of re-inject themselves a little bit of life here. Okeanos, only if he knew. Someone just on the other side. The paint shells get utilized. Shadow step back in onto the site. Coburg able to find Mike here. Spaz in a very awkward position as the kills are just coming through. Sad just to anchor themselves onto the site. And yeah, Darkest, the one we needed to see turn up, is doing exactly that. Skarn cleans up that final kill. Sad, they find their third.
That was nicely played in the post plant with having Coburg cross towards market there, and Ferbsa was, back posted up in mid on that late backstab position, so they ended up having some really nice crossfires. Well played in the moment from Sad, being able to set that all up.
Now moving into this next one. Look at those ultimates coming in from Sad Esports. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw just a little bit more aggression here. Okeanos actually going to be potentially matching it. Good utility setup from both these squads, but means not much is going to be found, except for that Rolling Thunder will be just beautiful. As well, too, the Dizzy finding its target somehow not shot out of the sight. That's okay. This is what you wanted to see if you were Sad. You get that early kill. Top of that too now. You forced things out, and on top of that, you have the neural theft, all the information available in the world. This one should be an easy one for Sad.
Deep CP from Coburg, gonna break that cam, collect all the space and elbow. Have the smokes as well for both Link and Spawn to make things safe, but actually this timing has been caught right now by Monsi. He's able to find a pick from Link. Just these two rifles might be enough, but nice trade out from Coburg.
That one's key. Finally, Coburg gonna get the spike down, and aftershock gets utilized. Never mind. Who needs to plant the spike anyways? Okay. Hunter's Fury gonna get utilized as well, but it's a little bit too late here. Couple of pings. No success.
30 seconds left.
And yeah, Skarn able to finally get it down. The recon bolt gets shot. 3v3 scenario here. Blinn looking to re-enter. They've got an aftershock ready to go. Unfortunately, no more flashes. It's a little bit of an uncomfortable trade. As Spaz now into this 1v2 scenario. Skarn just on the other side of this. Spaz has to isolate this. Find that 1v1, but Skarn finds the timing, the step out, and the shot connecting. As Sad find their fourth, only one round away from tying it up.
Was worried there for a moment that this was really just going to slip entirely out of Sad's hands. After that string of 5 rounds from Blinn, all post just the pistol round win for Sad, but starting to get back into things. Nice to see Skarn topping the board for them. A solid duelist that has had some good games throughout this season so far, but I think is, honestly, has even more to offer. I think can really be another standout star player here for Sad. Really showing up so far on Sunset.
Oh, no way. feel like half these kills are even when they can't even see where the other person is, or through a wall. But an excellent first pick. Ferbsa going down, denying kind of one of the potential lurk presences and information to be gathered. Splin, they're still holding on to the sights. Shock bolts now coming out. Make sure that nothing tricky is going to happen here. Coburg might find some timing as Monsi goes down to pick it up, and no, just flicks away at the last second here, so Blinn will get unpunished, and rotation from Sad is being called right now. I don't know if that's necessarily the right call, but at least they will have more space.
And they're just going to contact up mid now, position themselves. Door gets broken. They're going to have to break this trip to actually work their way into market there when Blinn are so set up for this.
Oh, yeah, damage kind of coming through. Monsi finds yet another. And now this is just an awkward scenario. Not a lot of time left as well. And they know what's happening. Spaz is so aware, able to find one. Going for the swing around, but Dip and Darkest are able to find theirs. And now with time counting down, they just have to get the spike down and potentially try to play this post-plant. 3v2 scenario here. Already Blinn are flooding in onto the site. Flash gonna get utilized. Darkest is trying to stall things out just for a second. But already Blinn are getting themselves set up. Flash comes through. Spray down. Not really finding anything there. Fault lines are going to be tossed out. Not actually stunning up everybody here as Darkest goes for the reposition. One flashpoint still available. Potentially take this swing around the corner. Oh, they find Dip out here, but a good timing onto Teague, potentially. Oh no, everyone's looking the wrong way. Darkest realizes this might be the best opportunity, but Teague just turns around at the last second. Has the spider sense tingling or something. And this could have been a disaster for Blinn, but I think it was just a little bit too much discipline, as Sad aren't able to find anything.
Yeah, gotta respect the patience, though. Was just trying to find the perfect moment to get the full spray transfer on all three. Nice attempt, but
One enemy
well
remaining.
done from Blinn here. These are the kind of situations, though, that they do play so well. Once they have an advantage, they've done an excellent job so far in this game of not throwing them away. They use every piece of utility they have to maintain that advantage until it results in the round win. I've been really impressed with their composure in those situations. They don't throw things away needlessly.
It's a nice change of pace compared to the chaos that kind of happened on the last series that we got to watch here, but already this time just making a lot of noise on mid. Sad just trying to make the presence be aware, but this is resulting in a little bit of early pressure coming out of A as Okeanos and Spaz taking a lot of space here. As that should kind of signal to Blinn that this is a mid A side attack.
Sad have been playing a lot of these slow contact rounds. Does he not spot anyone out? Coburg on that tight angle, able to find one. And in the meantime, that's going to trigger the players from A to work into the site.
Showstopper gets pulled, but nobody's home. To be on the receiving end of the rocket. Finally, they will be regrouping. Trap gets kind of cut there, and now Blinn, they have to get themselves ready for this post plan. Monty first, tossing out the mosh there. Oh, took so much damage just from a blind spray. Now the paranoia from Coburg gets utilized, slowing it down even more. Now Skarn has the paint shells. It's just stall, 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 force them out, and gun them down. Monty falling to the paint shells, and Blinn, they make the call. They have to back off of this one. The round will be Sad's, and they will be able to carry these next rifles into the final round of the half.
Well played from Coburg there to find that first kill in mid. Sad have been doing a great job of just exploiting open areas of the map with the contact pushes, getting all of that space and elbow, able to get the free sight when that distraction comes in. Trying to take away these last couple guns as well, just to break the Blinn economy for round 12. And it does enough damage to put them on an awkward buy, not a terrible one. They still have 3 rifles, but obviously not ideal.
Well, Blinn at least will have the Thrash and the Rolling Thunder available for this one. And especially, too, like we've been talking about how they've been so cohesive on some of those site retakes after the spike gets planted down. Those two are excellent tools to play those retakes even more accurately. Recon Dart this time early and spots out Spaz. So it's going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable angle as Spaz and Monsi are going to be the ones who are carrying the only SMGs into this round.
Again, just slowly working the map. Contacting up mid. While Ferbs is left to keep some eyes on B main. Here's the orb being tapped, but doesn't want to risk getting baited out. Risk throwing his life away.
Oh. A couple of people spotted out there. If only Monsi knew, that'd be an excellent little thrash. Teague, aware of what's going on here. Ferbs trying to isolate that kill, not able to do so, and now Dip moving around the side here, able to find a timing. Teague and Monsi both falling down. Different parts of that spawn here. Ferbs is still alive, and Blinn actually doing a fantastic job of kind of pulling this one back. As soon as I say that, though, Dip able to find Mike. Now, this is going to be a 2v3 scenario. Okeanos does have that showstopper available.
Drone is going to come out really deep so Skarn can stay in this forward position. Wow, early Hunter's Fury now. Actually gets a connection, almost the kill.
One enemy remaining.
Well, Skarn's ready for that one. Shuts that one down, confirms the kill there. Now Okeanos, a 1v3. Everyone's so spread out, so many different angles to tackle. Up against the world, Dip just on the other side of it. Such a weird place to do it, and yeah, not aware of what is going on behind. Sad. They tie it up in this half 6-6. And yeah, this makes sense. You said that they were going to be good at Sunset, and definitely it's showing.
If they end up continuing this into the second half, if Sad win this map, I think Blinn are going to be kicking themselves because this pick into them is pretty odd. We just saw Sad play so well on this map. And so far, that has been the case here.
Now on this defense side, Sad getting themselves set up. See a little bit of pressure ready to be applied on the A, but meanwhile Blinn looks like they're itching to just rush in onto this B site, or at least slowly shift walking their way onto this B site. They take a lot of space here just for free. Now, paint shells in hand. We get tossed out here. Okeanos has to be careful. Yep, already gets caught up here. And Darkest able to find Monsi, despite the fact that the Dizzy was applied. Spike gets dropped into a weird position. So many smokes just caterpillaring themselves around, but Mike able to at least find Darkest on that, in the chaos. And finally, the Spike might be able to get planted, but we do see that Blinn just playing extremely slowly, and this is going to get Sad a chance to kind of regroup themselves.
Yeah, I like that Ferbs had just backed up, played it slow, didn't try and force the issue. Now they're just going to wait to play off this paranoia and fight together back into the site.
Oh. Right click coming through, just flood the site. Yeah, Members alive. Wait a second, Spaz able to find a 3 on the pistol round? Excuse me? By pure numbers advantage, Sad should have been able to win that one out, but, you know, right click, go, pew.
I mean, 4 players swinging into 2. You would think that the 4 would probably win that, but not the case today. That was, guys, man, I'd love to see that from Spaz's POV, how he was able to do that. I mean, Sad didn't do anything wrong there. They just get absolutely destroyed in the gunfights, so great start here for Blinn already.
Yeah, and what looked like they were supposed to steamroll in this. Nope, RNGesus said no. It happens. Now Sad. 4 stacking, moving forward. Into many. Mike gets dropped in the middle of that one. At least able to take one out on the way in. Oh no, the position doesn't get revealed. Ferbsa still hitting onto the back side, looking for a timing. Will just find that. Things are looking all right for Sad thus far in this round. A 3v3 scenario now. Sad get ready for this retake.
Just making it look easy with the spray through the smoke. Yeah, good effort from Ferbsa, but Blinn handled that situation pretty easily. Just a standard kind of eco setup where you stack one side of the map, leave your Cypher on the other, try and win with the gamble. I mean, this has been a lot of damage for Sad. They're going to be content with that, taking 3 guns away. Blinn going to be an awkward situation now with the economy, having to just make sure they can buy up for the next. So Monsi's just going to have a stinger here.
At least all the utility will be able to get picked up for Blinn. -1 trapwire, but all things considered not bad. Meanwhile, Sad on the other side. Light shield's kind of coming in here. So Skarn won't have that boombot available, but not the worst buy in the world. Already, utility getting tossed out here. The recon bolt gets destroyed. So Sad at least know a couple of players are just outside A.
Teague has that stun lineup for this elbow fight. Gonna jiggle. I'm actually gonna pop that off though. Just gonna save that stun and now work towards mid. Ferbsa has eyes on the cam, instantly broke by Okeanos, and he's just gonna satchel away. Nicely played, just destroy the cam, deny some information.
And slow feels like that's the pace of this round thus far. No trapwire actually to watch mid, but Dip should have all the information necessary. He's able to back out as the funnel comes through, moving in onto A, completely dodging that elbow pressure, but not sure they're aware of where Dip is. Regardless, the spike will get planted. Keep in mind, Spaz's position is a little interesting here as Skarn goes for the swing, at least able to find one here. But looking for more. Dipping in, actually, able to find one. Coburg as well. Sad ready for the cleanup now. They're moving their way one at a time in. Spaz just on the other side. Coburg so aware, and yeah, it all just falls apart. Sad. They just completely destroy the post-plant positioning of Blinn.
That was such a great shot from Coburg at the end. I really liked Blinn's pathing into that hit. Just working market, they destroy the cam, and then, you know, after they go up mid, they go with those 4 players headed towards Link. And Spaz had sent a paranoia from A main that went up that left side into Link. So if there were any players there, they were going to get blinded and crunched. I loved all of that, but at the end of it, Sad just had such great positioning from the retake to hit from multiple angles. And those shots from Coburg were so clean. Blinn had enough saved up, though, to get the full buy here. That's why they didn't fully invest in the previous round. So this is going to be the one that really matters for them.
Spotted Dip out there. Got a couple of bullets in, but nothing really to write home about. That's set up for Elbow once again. Being teased right now by Teague. When they get their ducks in a row, get ready to move things up. They saw the boom bot, so at least are aware that there's one player over there. Smoke gets tossed down here, and actually no fault line going to get utilized. Oh, that was disgusting. Okeanos finds the first, is traded out, but that's okay. It's going to be Blinn walking out on top, now securing the orb as they flood in onto site after that neural theft.
Great information from that. They know it's just all too easy, all too free to get in here. So he's trying to play close off this one way, going to get stunned. Oh, and look at Spaz just swinging for his stunned teammates, protecting them. Has been hitting some fantastic shots all game.
Now Ferbsa is just going to back off here, go for the save, keep that rifle into the next one, but you raise an excellent point about being so ready to save your teammates, because I feel like we've seen Blinn do that multiple times where, you know, one person gets flashed, they 100% got an anti-flasher. When someone's getting detained, they immediately have somebody who's ready to kind of swing around. So I like the teamwork coming through from Blinn. It's showing us why they're such an effective team.
Yeah, definitely. They are fundamentally a very sound team. And it has been the catalyst for all this success that they've been seeing over the past, you know, month or two. Being able to qualify through the relegation tournament, get into the league for stage 2, that huge win against M80. Definitely put them on the map. They're going to force Sad into the timeout now. Late into this game. They've been hanging in there, but frankly, Blinn throughout, despite the close scoreline, have absolutely looked like the better team.
Yeah, it felt like when maybe things were a little bit more scrappier, Sad were kind of going blow for blow, but generally speaking, it feels like Blinn in their initial engagements are always walking away with one extra agent or just a little bit more information on like dropping the spike or something. And so I'm curious to see what Sad are going to do coming out of this timeout right now, because they have to start swinging things around. Otherwise, Blinn are continuing to just walk away with these rounds.
I want to see if maybe Sad are going to mix things up with a little bit more aggression here on the defense. Maybe play a little bit more towards mid, but frankly, it's tough to go for as many aggressive plays when you're not playing with the Gecko and you have the Sova. I mean, the Breach definitely still lends itself to some of those moments, but when you have the Gecko and the ability to combo the Dizzy with some of these forward plays, it definitely makes a difference. They do choose to go for an aggressive line, though. Skarn facing early. Great first kill.
Yeah, you know, you could tell Blinn were like, well, they never push out of here, just not expecting that aggression. It goes perfectly, but Dip, ooh, that's so cheeky. Monsi barely escaping. Actually, Coburg able to find it. An excellent paranoia as well. Now this crossfire set up, making it so much more difficult for Blinn to be able to do anything. Mike spotted out as well. The flashpoint is going to be good. Just going to be running away here. Ferpson just waiting on the other side, and that is Sad, just absolutely stepping out and into the present and completely cutting Blinn out of the equation.
Yeah, phenomenal round straight out of the timeout. Starts with that early aggression on A, and then the three players top mid just collapsing on that effort to push up through top mid from Blinn. The timings on the swings were perfect. They had that high-low with one player on that little top area. That was really nicely done from Sad.
Blow him up, Marsh.
Let's see if they can continue to replicate that success. I'm seeing Blinn on a little bit more of a scattered by here. 2 stingers. And so just a fast execute kind of coming through. Thrash could be coming. Oh, gets spotted out here as Okeanos is going to pop Showstopper as well. Launches into the back. Coburg thankfully hadn't aggressed too far forwards yet. So finally, we're going to be seeing the spike potentially going down here. Sphere going to get utilized as well. It's a double swing around, but thankfully they're ready for it. Darkest, snappy as ever, finds 2.
Oh my
and yeah,
God.
Sad, they close that one down.
Again, wow. I mean, they have kicked this game into high gear coming out of that timeout. Another round where they're playing with so much more pace, swinging together so much more aggressively. The Hunter's Fury was nicely timed from Dip, and they were playing off of that. Looking totally revitalized.
And now the Sad Believers starting to get a little bit of something. It's all tied up 9-9 right now. Sad have found their way back into things. Skarn does have the Showstopper, goes for a little bit of an early peek, but no information given. Blinn actually were close by, but decided to opt to back out of this one. They're now going to be pressuring Market.
They went for that little recon stun so Darkness could get the orb to get the Rolling Thunder active. Ferpson with a great first pick, and at this point they could play this a little bit safer, just wait for that rotate and use the Rolling Thunder for the retake if they want.
Ferpson under a lot of pressure here. Forced reposition. Actually gets taken out on it. Smoke gonna happen here. Dip aware. Oh, Monsi able to escape out of that one. Walks through. No, ran out of bullets in the stinger. Fortunately, Clip isn't its strongest suit. And now Dip. You're looking at it, it's gonna be Showstopper gets popped here. Skarn able to find one, and Coburg finds the other. As Sad to get yet another defuse and find their way onto double digits now.
3 rounds in a row that have been really impressive from Sad. That one was getting a little bit scrappier, but still they handled everything very well. I like that they early had that nice aggro play towards A to play for the alt orb for Darkest as well. they're starting to be a bit more cerebral about everything that's going on in the game and finding these little advantages. All of a sudden, they're the team forcing Blinn onto a timeout and can't blame them. This injection of pace that they've had into their game has really thrown Blinn off.
Let's see if they can take a sad timeout here. Be able to inject a little bit of pace in their direction. Right now, sad. I mean, it is crazy how much they have just pulled their act together after that single timeout. Like, the coordination, the hits coming through, they're swinging off of each other. A lot of those fundamentals that seemed very shaky at the start of this map have just completely put themselves in place. And now, well, ball's in Blinn's court to try and figure something out to counter it.
Impressive as well for that to start being the case pretty early on into this series, bringing in a new player so soon, just between last week and this, with Ferbsa coming in to pick up the Sentinel role. And has looked solid, has looked really a part of the unit. Haven't seen any moments where they feel particularly disconnected from what everyone else is doing. Everything seems to be falling pretty in line here. Coburg now out of the timeout, just picked up an off, just trying to add a different layer to this defense that Blinn won't be ready for. Throw a wrench into whatever plan they have by maybe finding an early pick. It's just going to be controlling B main at the moment, though. Skarn just jiggling this close angle on A. Is he going to force him back?
As he actually gets a tag as well, so Darkest forced to return as well. You can see the idea here. That fault line could get utilized to allow Skarn to kind of poke through. I do think that it's necessary. It's like a game of chess going on here with which utility is going to fall first. Who's going to take the bait first? And Mikey going to get spotted out here by that recon bolt. No harm, no foul. Dizzy going to get utilized there. Force Skarn a little bit back, but Blinn very slowly making their way around. Skarn now in a little bit of trouble, but it's still just as slow as ever.
With that recon getting broken, Darkest wants to stick around
left.
towards the A side. Sad have 3 players there, and Blinn making all that noise, drawing those rotates. They want to execute B. They feel like it's going to be the weaker side.
Ooh.
I must wait a moment.
Okeanos immediately going down there. Yeah, look at this. They're going in onto B. Made their way so far, but Ferbsa is still in the back here. Is stunned up, but still able to survive through all of that thanks to a paranoia. And now there just simply isn't enough time. Sad. Lock and key. Keep the sight away from Blinn. Just like that, Sad, they poise themselves ready to win this map as they are able to keep 4 of their members alive on that round.
Lovely utility from Darkest to win out that round. On the rotate, found the perfect timing to use the Rolling Thunder to assist Ferbsa, who was in that corner spot, just using that one-way trip to nullify the angle from Market where he could be seen. And then when that Rolling Thunder came through, just bounced Monsi straight in front of him for the easiest kill, and then a stun follow-up so Ferbsa could get a second. That was just beautiful breach play right there.
That's why you bring a breach in here on Sunset. Now the weapon disadvantage for a Blinn means that they want to play things a little bit more closer quarters here. Already Sad, still just kind of digging their heels and holding so many different angles as we've seen them do before.
Right there.
Now that should give some information here, Wyatt.
Just 2 rounds away now, Sad from winning their first map of the stage. 0-2-0-2, and first, second match is Coburg. A lot of damage, just gonna back off. Play this safe.
Why destroy?
Just a little bit of spam, and oh man, 3 members might have been able to go down here. All the information given, it's looking a little bit scatters as Ferbsa still just a thorn on the site. Spike gets denied as well, and yeah, that's gonna be all open and shut case for Sad as they find themselves here on map point now.
I know how this will end.
Map point, their first map win of the stage. They're looking so much better than we've seen in other games. This edition of Ferbsa, 18 and 12 on the board. 3 players from Sad sitting at that exact same KD. Darkest stepping up for the team as he has so many times. They just look so much more coordinated than they had in their previous games. Ferbsa has just fit in so well. Blinn now expending their second timeout, both used late into the game right now.
And I mean, we were talking about like a standout player on SAD and being like, oh yeah, Darkest has been really showing up. Darkest has been leading the charge, but just looking at the statistics right now, I mean, it's so evened out across the entire team. And I think that this is something we weren't necessarily expecting to see from SAD, but is honestly a pleasure to be able to see. And Blinn are the ones on the back foot right now, where it feels a little bit more scattered. They're getting split up in these awkward angles where SAD can just kind of capitalize. They always seem to find Blinn in these awkward situations, and then Ferbsa gets like 2 kills.
It's a lot of Darkest utility and tips as well, but especially Darkest, that in the transitional moments of rounds where SAD are now playing so proactively, playing so fast to take the fight to Blinn,
Right there.
that they found so much success with the key utility pieces from their initiators. Those moments have just been so nice, and on this final round right now, Blinn, they're gathered up for this B hit. They're going to have to contend with Ferbsa's setup, where it's just been such a solid anchor.
Well, Rolling Thunder will do a good job at least fishing out that tricky Cypher. Still, the fact that the Cypher's still alive. Okay, Spike finally going down. Injection of pace is working out for Blinn right now. They throw out the Mosh, and they aren't quite done being aggressive yet. We're seeing Monty go in, but Ferbsa ready to check him there. An excellent little fault line, getting so many stuns, and now the double swing actually goes for a 1-for-1 trade as Spaz hadn't fully committed there. A little bit of miscommunication, and suddenly it's a 3v3 scenario. Things slowing down for a second, but Recon Cam is able to spot out one here. Oh, it's an awkward walkthrough, but Crossfire is going to be fantastic. Darkest up against the world, has to do it all, can't do anything. Blinn put that speed down into this round, and they find their 10th.
Blinn did a really good job there of taking proactive space while getting that spike down, that double push into spawn, being set up in that good crossfire on the site while those players took that space. The one that you saw just totally shut down the SAD players trying to get out of the smoke in main. Fantastic post-plant setup for them to stay in the game here.
Let's move into this next round. The question is, are we going to do it all again? All the members of Blinn right now just hanging out outside of B. No Rolling Thunder this time to flush out Ferbsa, but no. Okay, another ultimate. I mean, hey, yeah, if you're Ferbsa, you want to stay away from all of that. The fish will bite here. Ooh, excellent little try and protection, but Okeano's going to be too good. He's able to find 2 easy kills, and once again, the aggression not quite done yet. Utilizing so many of those ultimates now to get the information on where they're coming from. Coburg spotted as well in the back line here. The double swing is going to be good. And just like this, SAD in a 2v5 scenario, Darkest able to at least find Okeanos. Cyber Trap going to get utilized here. Slow it down. They can hear the information of that breach walking through. The utility going to be ready to go. Darkest actually walking right through it is going to be found with just bullets on bullets on bullets. And yeah, going to be stunned up as well. Dip fought inside of the smoke, and Blinn 1 round away from potentially forcing an OT.
The slower rounds weren't really working out for them. They were getting caught when they were trying to rotate back to sites. SAD just beating them to the punch. So they've just resorted to straight up big fast executes, taking a lot of space, taking the fight to SAD, and it's worked a couple rounds in the row now. It's got them on OT point now. And it looks like they just want to do the same thing over on A this time. And it's going to be the right call. Looks sad. They've already started with 3 players towards B. Actually, no, they are just going to slow things back down a little bit. Work towards mid, perhaps. Trenched in tiles.
We're back to our slow-paced Valorant. Of course, you could see SAD anticipating the speed here, and so kind of splitting themselves up, and this might at least allow for a bit of better positioning for Blinn. Showstopper going to get utilized. Keanu's looking for something. Unfortunately, couldn't buy both blast packs. Sends it into the back there, not able to find anything, but already SAD are so close by. Oop, spray through. Mike still gonna be able to stay alive here as Spaz goes for the TP on top of the boxes. Double smoke, really just making things happen. Oh, it's so hard to pick where you want to go, but they're all just walking in and immediately just getting gunned down. So many bullets flying out from the firing squad from Blinn. And now Skarn, in almost an impossible situation, is able to find one, but Spaz from up top will make sure that we will be seeing it overtime on map number 1.
Switching
Blinn
sides.
simplifying things was
Overtime.
really
You
the
try
answer for
same
them.
Tricks.
Just not giving Sad opportunities to beat them on these
enemy
fast
remaining.
rotates, catch them trying to go into sites, or rather when they were going into sites late, being caught by Ferbs' setups, utility in those moments when they were trying to rotate in. They just brought everything back to basics and look way more clean with it. So 12-12, Sad forced back onto the offensive side here, where for the most part they were struggling. They kind of brought things back in the end, but overall the defense was definitely looking like their better half.
Generally was. Okeanos is starting to feel it, I should say. Ready to just move out, and already Sad. Taking so much mid control right now, as we've seen them do before. The double smoke kind of getting utilized there, though. So they'll only have one smoke on site, but the initiator utility from Darkest, once again, has been so good. Teague, ready to receive this. Here's the drone. Uses that, and uh-oh, Dip. Caught in a rock in a hard place, but actually able to just sidestep it in time. It's Monsi. Ooh, not able to find anything. Okeanos caught out, though. It's able to find one. Look at that. The reaction from Sad. They immediately all stack up ready to get that trade, but Okeanos is able to get out. It's a 1-for-1 trade here. Where they reaggress up into the mid. Okeanos ready for it. Can't quite find it. Darkest able to find that kill. And now Sad are in a great position in their spawn.
Oh, the timing of that
Spike
swing off the
down
paranoia
A.
was really
One
nice.
enemy remaining.
Spaz doubling
30
up, and now
seconds
Mike
left.
swinging in as well.
Skarn, once again in this 1v2 scenario, the spike is down and immediately gets spotted out by Mike. And that's going to be huge information there. Oh, the recon bolt as well. If they do this properly, they could just swing off of it. Skarn able to now get the spike, has to go for the plant though. Just simply not enough time, and then we'll have to deal with the recon bolt afterwards. But already Blinn are kind of getting themselves into position. Skarn, rifle ready to go. Position still revealed, didn't have time to get it up. It's a high-low, and Spaz able to get that trade there. So we will see Blinn find themselves now on a map point.
That would have been insane. I wanted to believe for a second if that spray transfer came in on a Spaz, that would have been some nasty work.
Switching
A nice
sides.
try from Skarn.
Match point.
But that was just a good collapse from Blinn at top mid off that paranoia, swinging from both the link side and over towards B. It's just the simple little fundamental moments like that where they're just playing off of each other that have really been the key to their success.
And now Blinn having real chance at getting their map win. We question the map choice here after knowing Sad we're going to be strong, and Blinn are experiencing that one firsthand. Immediately though, Skarn tucked in with Darkest. Yeah, that's going to be an excellent fault line, but Skarn immediately punished. Monsi playing such a good angle, ready for the swing through after that fault line. And things are not looking too good. Dip going down as well. This is a real opportunity for Blinn to make magic happen. It is going to be yet another trade, and now it's just down to this 2v4 scenario. Coburg and Ferbsa. Coburg still on site as of right now, as Blinn slow things down for a second.
Just going to cut noise and then apply all of the pressure onto Coburg, who's been playing well so far, but would have to pull out some serious magic to get Sad to 13 to keep this OT going.
Dizzy now getting tossed around. Coburg able to dodge that one. Paranoia in hand, lets it loose. Will actually blind out a couple of opponents there, but as Ferbsa falls down as well, Coburg able to find one. The clap up top, but yeah, too many bodies
Attackers
on the
win.
site. And Blinn, it was looking dicey for a second, but they're able to come back around and will be able to win out map one.
That's gotta just feel so brutal for Sad. At the end of that game, they struggled like 5 rounds in a row off that timeout, got it to match point, and then can't close things out. That's just so tough. I mean, at the very end of it, again, it just really comes down to Blinn being a fundamentally really sound team, and it's gotten them really far after, qualifying through the relegation tournament, having some good wins up until this point. They're just looking really good, really impressive team.
And you can see there, it looked like Teague was just taking the biggest sigh of relief after that matchup, because I think that was not exactly what they were going to be expecting there. But regardless, Sad are able to, or sorry, not Sad, Blinn are able to walk away with map number 1. We're going to be throwing to a quick break, and we'll have map number 2 ready to go just after that.